To set up my annotated bibliography, I am relying heavily on the example, which is linked on our As You Learn page. Toggling between that example and my own Google Doc, I began by inserting a header, and the content in that header is the name of our course as well as a page number. So to get the page number, again, I did an insert, choosing the page number option for top right, beginning with the number 1. And then once I had that content there, I also made sure to right align it so that it would be flush with the right-hand side of my page. I also made sure to choose a font which is ADA compliant and the appropriate size for that font, again, according to the ADA. So of the options available to me, I particularly like Georgia number 11. Having selected my font, I then set up my name, followed by the professor's name, followed by the department or the program name. So for us, we're talking about the Rhetoric and Composition program, the course number 1000, and the date when this project is due. Double space and then a centered title. So the title has 2 parts to it. The first part is what I'm thinking about as the title for this project as a whole, and this title likely would make its way into my paper or onto my paper as well. So for me, that is the unethical consumption of true crime podcasts, followed by a colon, and then followed by the phrase and annotated bibliography. So from here, double spacing again and making sure that I am left aligned with my content. So at this point, I'm going to add a third tab for toggling. I'm going to pull up one of my source searches, so source search number 3, and I'm going to make sure that I have selected all of my content, and I'm going to copy and paste that into this space. When we were creating our source searches, we were creating annotations. So annotations begin with a citation. The citation is followed by a summary of the source as well as some notes about its credibility. So our source searches were long annotations, but annotations nonetheless. Thus, I'm just going to manipulate my copy text a little bit, and I'll have 3 completed entries on this formal annotated bibliography in no time. So the first thing that I've done here is to flip-flop the summary with the source credibility check. And now I'm just going to read back through my summary and see if there's any way that I might need to clean it up a little bit. When reading back through my annotation, I made sure to remove any double spacing, and then I also made sure to tab over 1/2 of an inch for each paragraph within the annotation. Annotated bibliographies can seem a lot like exercises in formatting. And I do want you to pay attention to your formatting, but I certainly don't want you to belabor it. So I want to very quickly show you how to create the hanging indent for your actual bibliographic citation. So I'm selecting that text, and then I'm going up to my ruler and I'm grabbing the triangle shape, hopefully, and I'm pulling everything over to 1/2 of an inch. Now I'm grabbing just the rectangular shape and I'm pulling that back to where I started. Toggling back to my example, I see that the bibliographic citation should be left aligned, like pretty much in line with my name and the date. And then I see that all the information underneath it until I get to the next citation is tabbed over 1/2 inch. So that is noted for us right here as well. And so I want to make sure that I do this on my own document. Thus, after creating the hanging indent within my bibliographic citation, I'm going to highlight all the rest of this entry. Again, it's a little bit long because our annotations were long, and I'm going to see what happens if I just click on this increase indent right here. If I scroll back up so that we can see this, yes, now I feel like what I have created looks a lot like this example. So now my document has 3, like the annotations, and they're in ABC order. So my first source is by Professor Bowling, followed by Gaithright, and then followed by Keegan. At this point, I will need to add in really brief annotations for any other sources that I use. So to be clear, we are not going to continue creating annotations at the same depth that we have been. Going forward, we're going to use what is proposed to us in the video that we watched. Going forward, our source annotations will be super brief, 150 words, and they'll offer just a really shout out to the summary, and then also a shout out to the source credibility, and perhaps a shout out to how the source is adding to our paper. As you can see, one of my additional annotations looks like this. I do need to polish up the formatting there, and voila. So what you submit on October 5th should include 6 annotations for 6 credible sources that you feel pretty confident are going to make their way into the final draft of your research essay. As a final formatting step, you will want to double space the entire document, so selecting all your text and then going to line spacing and choosing double. And when the annotated bibliography looks exactly the way that you want it to and you're ready to submit it, you will upload this to your Adobe Spark page. In order to do that, you need to make sure that you go to Share, change the link so that anyone at App State University can view it, copy that link, and that is what you will add to your Adobe Spark page. I appreciate the time you took to watch this video, especially given its length, and I hope that you found it helpful.